Okay. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, this is Will from Wisco Masco, one half of the SCS, and tonight we are doing our preliminary PaleFest interview with none other than the AJ Good from the House of Masks. I think that's my good little promo here. It looks like the man of the hour just dropped in, and he sent his request to join. Who is not AJ. So what we're going to do here is I have some questions prepared that I had some people drop in here and leave between Instagram and Facebook. And then I have some of my own. And then if chat wants to drop some stuff and we can catch on that in between questions, there's always that as well. AJ, how are we, my friend?
I'm good. You have to tell me if this mask is too hard for you to hear me.
I can hear you pretty good. I don't think it should be a problem.
Good. I've done 0 press with this mask, so
It looks good. It looks good. Top notch.
appreciate it. I wanted to leave my braids in, so
I saw your story. It looks fresh. It's good.
I just love the way they feel.
Yeah, I like my braids too, you know.
Oh. What's up?
Okay. I guess I will jump into it right here. So I have kind of some different categories of stuff. I figure I'll jump back and forth between them all instead of just doing all PaleFest, all viewer questions, all yada yada.
Cool.
So with the other night, which sparked the reason for this interview, I went and rewatched the open house video a few times. I was showing people how, like, hey, look, we're all there.
Mm-hmm.
With the open house happening, did you think leading up to it, its turnout would be so big that it would spawn the sequel that we're preparing for now?
Maybe yes and no. Like the day of PaleFest, like even as I just was like putting my suit on, I was like, or not PaleFest, the open house. Like we were in the back just kind of hanging out, and I was getting ready, and I was like, dude, this suck. No one's gonna show up. Like this is gonna be embarrassing. And I think Russ walked back and was like, dude, there's a line, like a block. And I was like, no way. And he like holds up his phone and shows me the picture, and I was like, okay. So it's one of those things where it's like it should have worked out like that, but I'm nervous that it won't. And with that one being as I guess niche as it was, like it was just me, and then we obviously had the Paleface tent set up.
Mm-hmm.
We did not promote that very long at all, and we didn't.
I was gonna say it was like a month's warning. Like I had just enough time to skip out of work, and that was pretty much it.
It was just one of those things. So like Bishop tells this story way better than I could. We were sitting there afterwards, and it was just like the homies hanging out, and like it was the best night ever. I had like a stack of money, like sitting looking at Bishop like with this money in my hand and like all this cool stuff, and I was like, now what? Like that was the greatest thing ever. I don't care about this shit. Like I just want to do that again. So it was on both of our brains. We like telepathically told each other, and from that point on, we knew exactly what we wanted it to be. And there hasn't been any like. It just is like making itself at this point. So if we don't triple what we had last year, I'd be really, really surprised.
Yeah, it's I keep thinking back to that night, like because like fortunately Paul and I were able to stay later than the general public, and we were just fucking. I was sitting on AJ Good's couch in this fucking the House of Mass. Like it's I don't know, it's like a weird phenomenon. Like I was telling you that night, like it's weird because I remember finding your videos way early on, like literally as a child, like 9 years ago at this point, like the first ever video I saw of yours, and it's like here I am in this dude's fucking place, just like hanging out.
Well, man, you can't tell, but I'm smiling really big under here. Yeah, and that's literally what it was like. Obviously, we weren't like, it wasn't like a money thing. Like I literally had like a t-shirt for sale, and I mean, I think we gave away more stuff than we did anything. It was like there was something magical about the first few years that I attended Mask Fest. and I don't know how to explain it, but anybody that vended there or would come to hang out with their friends gets it. So like we've all been to horror conventions, and for the most part, it is celebrities that haven't been relevant for like 30 years, pay too much money for an autograph, and it's people that are selling light switch covers with Michael Myers on it, and it's not even Michael Myers, it's some dude that's dressed up. So we didn't want this like zombie where you're just on autopilot, like cruising past booths. And it just like there was something so different about MassFest because it's right across the hallway from Horror Hound, which is like that for the most part. You would walk into MassFest and it was like artists, whether you were a vendor or just someone there that is there to appreciate the art, it was such a different vibe. And that kind of went away the last couple of years. And I don't know if it was because MassFest got too big or if it was the venue change, which I know sounds weird, but changing the venue that we were used to really did put like a big damper on stuff.
Sure.
Obviously, the state of the world is not been the greatest for the last couple of years. So we just wanted to bring back this like friendly family vibe that we haven't had for a while, and now we have the chance to do it our way. So there's no doubt in my mind that this will be like the next big thing for sure.
Yeah, I am very confident. With that being said, like how I mentioned, like how you felt leading up, I felt leading up. I knew it was going to be big, and it turned out way bigger than I thought it was. Like Paul and I came down day of. We drove from Illinois to Ohio. I drove most of the way. Fuck you, Paul. And we got there like literally just in time. And at that point, the line was all the way down your sidewalk, down into the parking lot alleyway thing, and starting to snake around. And that's when we got in line. And the sun was still completely up. And by the time we got to the door, it was dark.
Yeah, dude.
I was like completely shocked.
And just thank everybody for waiting because we didn't obviously expect something like that. And that was one of the big things we wanted to avoid this year because you would be surprised how many people drove by and just took pictures because they're like, I'm not waiting in line.
Sure.
So
yeah.
this is all free flowing, like that entire lot. We have that whole lot. The antique shop next door is in on it, and it'll be a far less like wait in line. I want everyone to float around and just enjoy themselves and do everything at their own leisure. So
having multiple attractions will probably help with that too. Instead of everyone waiting to see you, the superstar, there'll be a couple things broken up there.
And I'm hoping that like there are bigger names than me there for sure. Like Sleazy, like he can have some of the heat, and Ed and like bless their souls, they are saints. And when we worked out the fact that Distortions was going to have a booth, that was all we proposed to them. And Ed was like, I want to be there. And we were like, what? Like, no way. That's so, yeah, it's just everything that could possibly go right has gone right. Fingers crossed that it continues to work out that way. So it's, like I said, there's no doubt in my mind that next year when this is in a convention center, it'll keep going. And everyone gets the vibe. Like you said, like, there's just something special about it.
No, you could tell. Like there was literally like it sounds like so cliche and silly, but there was like magic in the air at the open house. Like you could literally feel it. Like I felt like a little ass kid standing in front of you, dude, and I'm like a foot taller than you or something like that. So it was like a whole dreams come true thing. And then like when I got the chain of letters coming down the thing that like you wanted us to be there and to have a table, I was like, I was driving to a concert and I could have crashed my car that very second and I could have died happy. Like,
yeah, that was important to me and Bishop for sure. It was like to prevent the whole like I'm selling this bootleg t-shirt with Kruger on it. We wanted specifically to handpick, like we wanted very limited booths and we wanted to handpick every single person. And you were definitely one of the first like 3 that we even considered. So
I was gonna say we got asked before it was like announced as a thing, so that felt like that was like earth shaking to me. I was like, holy fucking shit, dude!
Yeah.
Like part of French here on Instagram, but like I don't think a lot of people can grasp when I try to tell the story of like how I came across you and like all that. They just think it's like weirdo watching YouTube, but it's like there's more gravity to that, and it has built up so much over these years, and now that we have like a personal and business now type of relationship, it's just like a weird, crazy thing. It's kind of like how Paul and I found ourselves like in the hands of ICP to make masks for them. Now I'm in your hands, so to speak, here.
That's been my Gwar experience the last couple of years. Like getting close with those dudes, it's just like how would I have told this to like 15-year-old me?
It's literally that. Like there's a trend on TikTok for stuff like that right now. Like 12-year-old me would not believe who we're getting married to and shit like that. But this is my scenario. Like,
Oh yeah. Well, I'm not like trying to toot my horn because I hear that from people a lot. Like I can't even just like I can't believe you responded, and it's just like I don't think people. Obviously, you said people don't get that when you try to explain it to them. People didn't get it until last year at the open house. Like my friends and stuff were like, "Yeah, holy shit, bud!" Like I thought that there would be people there, but I didn't think it would be one of those. And I'm like, it almost feels good to finally own that because I don't know. I'm very like lucky and happy to be where I am and shit. But like it's hard work and
I undoubtedly I
and doing it and to see like people that I respect that are not involved with this hobby giving me props was like a heart wrencher. So
yeah, that's kind of why every now and then I tend to reach out to you and send like a gushy little message, because like it's very noticeable how like content wise, like how much your production value has gone up over the years. Like you said, like when I started watching, it was like the apartment of masks,
yeah, dude.
and now it's just like collection wise, like your production value wise, like the content itself, like how the quality of the content, like you've come leaps and bounds in all of these years, and it's really your hard work is paying off, and that's why I'm really glad that Palefest is starting to get a lot of buzz. And like how I've mentioned to you like twice now, random ass people knew who you were, and like they were super jazzed that I knew who you were. And
Oh
then,
yeah.
yeah,
Well,
I'm running a booth at Palefest. They're like, what? Like it's just like a weird small world thing. Like it's
yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate all your nice words and like those messages definitely don't go unappreciated and unseen. So
so I guess my next question I want to jump in, we kind of already touched on this, but do you recall like ever like a certain turning point when it made you like take a step back and realize you were like making it, like you made it like in your scene?
um yeah, there are little things. Uh, I remember when obviously I've always gone to concerts and stuff, but when I started to go and people wanted photos, which is what made me come up with like, okay, I need to look because I felt like an idiot, like taking pictures of people just as me, and I'm like,
Okay.
so like that was always cool. I can remember like standing on like the secondary floors of venues and seeing people like on their phones showing their friends and then up at me and stuff, and I'm just like, so yeah, just like shit like that. I don't know, like there are obviously milestones that you look at. Like I remember hitting 10,000 subscribers, and I was like, oh shit, I just hit the cap. Like that's it. And then you're at, like Douglas Little's at my house, and we're shooting a video for like 30,000 subscribers, and then it's 50,000. So there's always little tiny things, and people think that I'm like egotistical or like I don't appreciate those things because as soon as they happen, I'm on to the next thing. And it's not that I am not stoked about those. Like getting my plaque in the mail is one of the biggest things that has ever happened to me. But I was also like, okay, can I do the second plaque? Like, would that ever be possible? So yeah, there's tons of stuff, and I'm super, super appreciative of the life that I live for sure. So
Yeah, undoubtedly. Like when I saw, because like there was like the whole like campaign like get AJ to 100,000, like, and
yeah,
people holding up posters outside of their house and shit like that, like, and stickers and flyers and stuff. And then like finally when the bridge was crossed, and then like seeing your plaque in person at the open house was like a really like eye-opening thing. It was like, holy shit, like I've watched this dude grow so much, and now he's finally like getting the fruits of his fucking labor. Like it's just
I'm afraid to like focus on those because I'm afraid that if I really truly like appreciate that type of thing, that I'll stop. I'll like get comfortable. I don't
sure.
want. I just want to keep like bigger and better, bigger and better, bigger and better. So,
That's a really good outlook to have, honestly, is to just keep striving.
well, at the end of the day, like I love my friends and I love my family, but I'm like 29 this month and single and depressed and anxious and everything that like negative that you could think of. But at the same time, it's like my work is my passion, and I need to acknowledge the fact that I am in a position that doesn't really make sense. Like I have a made up job of showing my hobbies and interests to people who also love those things and like want to support me. So as sad and anxious and whatever as I am about whatever, at the end of the day, it's like, okay, I get to wake up tomorrow and my work is to open this cool item and tell people about it. So, yeah, it is what it is.
Yeah, no, I feel you on all of that. I told you the other day the bullshit I've had going on, or at least a little skinny of it. But like, that's kind of like where I've been right now with TikTok. Like as silly of an app as TikTok is, like I know I've heard you have your back and forths about it. I've just been like putting in random effort the past 2 weeks, and I hit 3,000 this morning, so that was cool. I'm already past. I'm at like 3,000, like 20 something right now. I think like throughout the day, I got a bunch more followers.
Oh yeah.
But like I've just been doing these like goofy ass skits and mask stuff, and like I'm going to see Mudvayne Thursday, so I'm gonna throw one of my ICP Dead Body Men together, like what I've been making for their shit, but I'm gonna do it as Cud, so that'll probably make some fun content and
Oh yeah.
yada
Yeah.
yada. It's
The TikTok. I just I feel like it's an app that doesn't reward its creators very well. So for
yeah,
me,
it's a weird learning curve. I have made $15 from TikTok so far.
um, I wanna make the content that I want to make. So it's like I will get there eventually, but I'm going to do it my way. Um, and it's just aggravating to go from something like YouTube, which as terrible as YouTube has gotten, or Instagram, which I'm so like over Instagram's algorithm shit now. But like the way that it was the harder you worked and the better your content was, and the more consistent that you were, the more you got paid off. And I don't mean in a sense of like monetarily, because I don't care about that. I want my shit to reach the people that want to see my shit. And it just seems like TikTok does not do that. They're just like, this will be viral. Not this.
Yeah, it's like you have to follow like the trends and like the trending sounds, and then there'll be trending hashtags. So it's like this weird blend and this learning curve that you have to follow. But then every once in a while, one will just click.
Yeah.
Like I did one of me doing my makeup for some skits I was gonna do, but I just did one of me putting my makeup on to begin with,
Yeah.
and it sat for 3 days, like 2 likes, and then like this morning it's like 300 something likes. I'm like, what happened to this video? Did this in my sleep bounce into the algorithm? But here we are.
Yeah, I don't get it. I'll get there eventually because I don't want to be a super boomer, but like I said, I'm just going to be stubborn and trying to do it my way until it works.
I think it'll work. There's people, I like when you post something and I see like people who aren't like in the Facebook groups. Like I'll go through the comment section and stuff. I'm like, it's cool because here's another side that we don't really see hopping into the spotlight, so to speak. So
Absolutely.
I guess I'll just go back to the top here. Is there any particular attraction or booth or anything that you're most excited for about PaleFest?
Um, yeah, I mean, it's a dream come true to have Sleazy here, and I know that his booth's not going to be anything crazy because I've seen him set up at like conventions before, but just the fact that like I'm gonna walk out of my building and see Sleazy fucking P Martinis.
I know. I was thinking of that the other day. I was like, holy fuck, dude. I'm gonna have a booth like in the same area as fucking Sleazy. Like I watched Skullhead Face when I was 12 years old.
Yeah, dude.
I'm 23 now.
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah.
gonna be peddling my bullshit amongst Gwar's fucking manager, bro. Like,
And what's funny is that's my second pick because Distortions is the big one for me, and I can't tell anybody why yet. There's a reason that they were going to have a booth here to begin with, and then that reason snowballed into these other things that are just it's like bucket list career shit with me. So I'm sure some people have figured it out by now, but it is all a part of a bigger thing. So even if they figured out a certain aspect, there's still more stuff, and man, that's gonna be cool.
so yeah, we have theories, Paul and I, but I'm sure there's shit we don't even know about, and I'm fucking super excited to see that.
It's gonna be dope if you're a fan of Distortions, or if you're a fan of Distortions for the reasons that I think that people in this hobby are a fan of Distortions, then everyone's gonna be happy.
Hell yeah. You already kind of talked about estimated turnout, but it sounded like you were thinking like hopefully 3 times what open house was.
Yeah, so we didn't get a count last year for whatever reason. Not an exact count, anyways, but Bishop said there was easily over 1,000 people, and he was right next to the door. So I just kind of thought, like, okay, that's 1,000. With the amount of promotion that we're doing, the fact that we have other vendors that are going to promote and bring people there, and the length of time that we have started doing it and given people a lot of, like, there's no excuse to not be there. And I know that some people will be like, yo, like, I don't have any money or blah, blah, blah. But, like, at the end of the day, like, I'm a firm believer in just, like, doing the thing. Just do it. Like, you can make it happen if you really want to. So
Yeah.
I don't think, if we do not have 3,000 plus, I'll be really surprised.
I have really good faith, and it sounded like a while ago, right? You said Chillicothe is now supporting it too, right? Because last year you were on your own.
To an extent, I don't know. I think that the locals will be more into it. I haven't accepted any help from the city because I feel so burnt about last year. So now I'm like
Sure. Yeah.
an asshole about it. I just want to show them, because the original plan was there's a Halloween festival called the Chillicothe Halloween Fest that was taking place in City Park, which is like a block or two away. And I wanted to work with them because I felt like they had the right idea. It was just poorly executed. And I was like, here, we can fucking cross promote. It'll be cool. So I reached out. I said, I don't want any money. I don't want anything other than, like, I'll stick you guys on my flyers. You stick me on your flyers. And they never responded. And I was like, okay, whatever. So we had this awesome turnout. And then the next morning, what do you know? I got, like, all these, like, Chamber of Commerce people sending me friend requests on Facebook. And I was like, all right. So now it's almost like it's not a contest. It's just a look what you could have been a part of. And I want to really make you feel it this year, especially because last year, like, it wasn't the thing. Now it is the thing. So
this year is the lesson year, and then maybe next year there's a recoup that could happen.
Maybe after this, if they apologize or something, we'll figure something out with them, because it's not that I love Chillicothe, and I'm trying to represent it really well. But if they don't want to work with me, then I'm just going to show them what they could have had and do it
Sure.
in my city, anyways.
Yeah, absolutely.
So.
Like, even if you weren't partnered, regardless, you could, like, it would still be supporting Chillicothe with how many people are going to have hotels in there, how many people are going to be getting food, how many people are going to be getting gas, going around. People are probably going to go to other small businesses around town. It's not so
Yeah.
like regardless. It was
Last year I had people. The antique shop dude came over real late that night, and he was like, dude, we sold every beverage that we had. So he immediately wanted in on it this year. I had a dude stop me at the ride on the Monday after that, and he was like, are you AJ? And I was like, yeah. And he was like, dude, I have 5 Airbnbs that all sold this week, and they all said that it was for your event. So those types of people taking notice makes a lot more sense to me than the people at the park that are trying to do their shit.
sure.
And because of that, Bishop had this super dope idea, which I don't know if I'm allowed to talk about it yet, but we've been posting, like, little Easter eggs here and there about it. So we will definitely most certainly be giving back to the businesses this year
Hell yeah.
in a very cool way. So I'll keep it at that for that one.
Yeah. So this is one of my personal questions, and Paul and I were talking about it the other day. It's a little silly here, but if presented the opportunity, would you come to the gathering this next month?
I mean, I'm not opposed to it because it's the gathering. I'm just opposed to it because I hate doing stuff.
Yeah, no. Uh, him and I are both fairly confident that if we got something lined up with the right people, we could get you in since you're an influencer.
Yeah. I could probably honestly just message Shaggy. Like, he follows me and thinks my shit.
That's literally what we said. Either message Shaggy or get with Rob, which is Violent J's brother, Jump Steady. Like, I feel like we could get you in there pretty easily.
Yeah, I wouldn't be opposed to it. When is it?
Well, I'm driving down to Ohio August 2nd, but it technically starts the 3rd, which is Wednesday, and then it goes to Saturday. But Friday and Saturday nights are going to be your two biggest.
Yeah, I think Mudbane's playing on the 3rd. I think Mudbane's playing on the 3rd, so I couldn't do that day, but maybe we could figure something out. It's at Thunder Valley or Legend Valley or whatever?
Yeah, Legend Valley. It's in Thornsville. I don't know how close that is in relation to
Chillicothe. It's not too far. I think it's like an hour and a half drive or something.
Totally.
Yeah, maybe we can figure that out.
Bring MASH with.
And I would love to fucking properly, like, Fago spray myself and shit.
Oh, yeah, that would be dope.
Yeah, MASH would have a blast.
That's why on your one live stream a while back, I popped in and asked to make MASH Fago spray with me to close out the night for PaleFest, because he was jiving with Paul and I all during open house, and he was telling us the whole ICP rules story. So it's like, now we have to do something. Like,
God, he is so stupid.
MASH, if you're in here, I'm a big fan, dude.
He's having a booth at Chillicothe.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, he'll be making hot dogs.
Okay. So here's a fan question here.
Who's it from?
Fred Gregg.
Oh, dude, Fred's the man.
Okay, he says, does your Gwar section smell different from the rest of the collection, or did it fade in to blend with the rest of the mask smells?
It 100% has its own smell, and I get pretty used to the smells of the building. But every once in a while, I'll walk in, and it'll be like the first time I open the box all over again. It makes me really happy, actually.
That's awesome. I could imagine, because like I've gotten some funky stage use pieces. Like Paul and I have been gifted a bunch from like ICP's costume rooms that have been covered in Fago and left in a box for years. So it smells like a clown show when you get these.
Yeah, most of these don't stink in a bad way. Like the sleazy suit smells like body odor. And then there's one Jizmac chest plate that kind of smells sour. But other than that, it's like this sweet, rotting latex. I don't know how to explain it, but it's not like a stinky like odor that you wouldn't want to smell. I think it's nice. And Gwar props are like very distinguishable amongst the other. Yeah.
That's awesome. So I'm pretty sure Morgan is still in here, but Morgan, she really wanted to know, have you thought about D's nuts?
Daily. I think about them when I wake up. I think about them before I go to sleep, and then they even haunt me in my dreams.
Perfect. She just really wanted to know that, I guess, so I had to put her on the spot for that one.
Very cool.
So I don't mean to ask this as like a tell me your secrets thing, but do you think that any other celebrities or in the spotlight people will show up to PaleFest that have not been announced? Like they'll just show up on their own, like unprovoked?
I mean, never say never, I guess. I know everybody wants to know if there's going to be a Slipknot person there. I know that's what everybody is like trying to get at with that.
Sure.
Unconfirmed. There has been invitations sent. However, I definitely would not expect that. And I'm not trying to like drum up some sort of like gossip or like, oh, like Slipknot, blah blah blah. I would firmly say that there won't be a Slipknot member here, but it would be really cool if someone, Jay, showed up.
Yeah, that was kind of like my thoughts was because of like how wide your outreach is, and like have members who follow you or other important or popular people who follow you, and this is a public event and it's so widely advertised now. We've been advertising for how many months? Like since February at least.
Yeah. Yeah.
So I feel like there could just be an odd chance that like someone cool just could show up without even like telling you or telling anyone else. Just
Yeah.
like
Yeah, that'd be sick. I would
ask.
super welcome it, but it's one of those things where it's like you could hope for that, but just don't expect it.
Yeah, exactly. That was just kind of like a in the back of my head thing that I thought up when I was thinking. Like for some reason, I mentally was like, I wonder if Sid would show up. That would be a cool.
It'd be super sick, man. Jay and Sid are like the homies, so
Those were the two that I had in mind when I was thinking like Slipknot people. But then I was talking about you to someone I was on a date with, and I mentioned how you and West Borland are kind of talking back and forth. So like, what if West Borland would show up? That would be fucking nuts.
it'd be super sick.
So another question, more so for me because I'm a clown guy. I know the TTE is like one of your favorite masks ever. What is a clown mask non-Slipknot that you would say you're pretty fond of?
A clown mask that is non-Slipknot. Why am I totally blanking out on clown masks that's non-Slipknot? The thing is, I'm not really crazy about clowns in general, to be
Yeah,
honest. Um, the West G and the Tattoo of the Earth are very special pieces that just so happen to be Slipknot masks. So,
yeah,
um, it's like I immediately want to say like the whistling clown just because of how classic it is. Like I would choose that over the Merry Clown if you told me like asked me which one's cooler.
sure.
Um, and there's random ones that are just neat, like um, the drummer of Bungle wore like a little face mask, a little vinyl clown that's kind of cool. So I don't know. I'd have to think about that and like legitimately look and research to give you an honest answer. But right, let's say the whistling clown.
Yeah, I love the whistling because it was used in ICP's first ever music video.
Yeah,
Yeah, and then like with Mike Covert, years ago, I found a behind the scenes picture from a music video shoot with the Great Cover Up Clown, and it blew his mind. He didn't know that. He got that picture from me, so I was like the super sleuth for once, and that felt super good. I was like, "Have you seen this? There's like 15 of these masks in this music video shoot," and he was like blown away while we were on a Skype call. It was just like something out of the blue.
oh yeah. I'm trying to think like Buckethead wore like a clown mask, but it's not that cool. You know, classic Emmett Kellys are cool.
Yeah,
Not just because of the ties to Myers, because half the people out there don't even think that that's the actual mask that they were like talking about. But yeah, EK's got a special spot in my heart. So, or what was the other one that Don Post did? It was real similar, but it was all white.
Felix Adler.
Yes, Felix Adler. Those things are sick.
Yeah,
So
with the gem on the face and everything. Those are like super. That's like a $700-800 mask. Those are super
yeah,
hard to come across.
there's also like a clowny paint job on a Frank that Cesar did that makes no sense, but it's cool. Like I have one of those. So yeah, something like that. Just a classic old clown. Nothing scary.
So let's go into another fan question here. Someone by the name of Putrid Portraits wants to know what your hopes or expectations for you and the House of Masks are in the next 5 years ballpark, and what do you think things will look like by then?
That's a good question too. I guess I don't have like an end goal or like here's where I want to be in a year. I could do that at the beginning of the year, like set goals that I like to check off at the end of the year to see like if I've done it.
Sure.
But there's really just no actual answer. I just want to keep doing what I want to do and have it well received. And obviously you want to get better at the things that you love. And like I love documentation and I love my collection. And you want it to get bigger. So like monetarily, I'm not going to lie and say that I don't want more patrons or I don't want more views or whatever, because that's the type of shit that leads to more stuff.
Yeah.
We are definitely not going to be able to stay at this building because I've already overgrown it. So there would have to be something bigger that comes along, or a lot of things are just getting toted. So within the next 5 years, absolutely won't be at this building anymore, or we'll have a second location and I'll keep this maybe as a retail spot. Like I've always dabbled in the idea of like the ultimate horror nerd shop. And we don't have anything like that around here. Like the closest is like Fairborn, that Floyd's shop. So
Yeah.
it would be sweet to not only combine, like, people think this is a store anyways, so they're always like, can I come get a shirt? Can I come buy the stickers? Can I blah, blah, blah. If I did the House of Masks store, and I had not only masks and shit for sale, but also, like, the actual, like, brand House of Masks. That'd
That
be
would,
so.
I think that would be really cool. And you could almost even, like, if you felt like it, run it like how antique shops do, where you rent out spots in it. So
Yeah.
you're paying for your
Yeah.
everything, and
But
yeah, have other people like booth their stuff through it. I think that would be a really cool thing. That's a good idea you've got there, I think.
oh, yeah.
I'll do another fan one here. Ethan Weaver asked, what do you think is a super slept on mass produced mask?
Anything 90s from Distortions.
Sure.
Trick or Treat Studios did this like double eye mask, or it might have had more than. I think it had a lot of eyes. Those are creepy.
I think I know what one you're talking about.
Yeah, I think it's called Vertigo.
Yep.
Mass produced stuff. I just love Distortions. I don't know, man. I just love Distortions so much. I I almost hate the fact that they got so successful with props and animatronics because their masks are so cool. Like there's nothing like an Ed Edmonds sculpt and an Ed Edmonds paint job. And what's funny is he can do that shit with his eyes closed. He can block something out and have it ready to mold in an hour, and he probably won't even remember it. But to me and to other people, it's just like that is the coolest thing I have ever seen made by a human hand. So
yeah, undoubtedly, like Distortions for me has always been one of the companies where you just look at it and you know that it's a Distortions piece. Like it's not mistakable for what it is, and like I can tell most Distortions pieces without looking for a stamp. Like you can tell, like that's Distortions. Like
yeah, they're special ones, man. They're this something like the masks that they probably literally were like, okay, we'll sell a couple of these. The Phil B's, the that whole line. The Lady Dies, like they're goofy as shit, but they're fucking scary. And
yeah.
and they had like scary ones too that were still like comic, like Hangman with the eyes coming out and shit. Like that's so cool. I don't know.
Yeah, no. Every time you bring up something like that, like when we're talking Distortions, I'm looking at my vintage '90s pig out up here.
Yeah.
A Filthy, and I have a Filthy right there. I have two super dead rotten Dream Girls '70s copies. They're both dead as shit, but I rescued both of them from costume shops. So,
Yeah, and like it doesn't have to be that choppy style either, because Distortions did like grizzled and blasted, like these gory, nasty masks that you shouldn't have been able to see on a shelf in a store as a kid, and like those are perfect too. So
yeah, awesome. So this was also a personal question of mine. I tend to ask this to a lot of people actually, but if you could pick a like dream lineup of like a supergroup for a band, who would you put and in what spots?
Oh shit. Damn. I'm blanking on everyone except for I'm blanking on a drummer, which is weird because I am a drummer. You'd think that would be my first choice. I would have Wes Borland on guitar, single guitar group, only one guitar.
Okay.
Ryan Martini on bass. I would have. Man, who would I have on drums? I should say Lars, just to piss everyone off. uh, oh shit.
I was gonna dead or alive too. It doesn't have to be.
Yeah, so we'll go Joey for just my entire life's inspiration's sake. That's the obvious choice, I think. and it would be a instrumental band. I don't want to sing.
Okay, yeah, I think that would be a really good fit, to be honest. Like,
Yeah, but no vocals. I
East
I know
and
people.
West both
I,
have so
I can see this already about Les Claypool. Les already has enough bands. Okay, he had
yeah,
like two pretty big bands. He had Mudvayne, and then he had Soften the Glare. So I don't feel like, and he's younger. Like he's created way less music than Les Claypool. I don't feel like we've seen even the full potential of Ryan. That's why I picked Ryan over Les,
absolutely.
just to clear it up.
Um,
Oh,
uh,
I did have to pick a vocalist actually. Zach De La Rocha.
okay,
Just yeah, because I saw Rage is like going out and doing shit again, and he's my favorite part of Rage Against the Machine. So
okay, yeah, that's solid. I don't know what the deal with that is, but there's like controversy following them right now. I guess I didn't look into it, but I saw a bunch of headlines. Like people are
it's people that don't understand. I'm assuming it's people that don't understand how ticket sales work.
sure.
So I think people are pissed because Rage costs a certain amount to see, and it's like they are the machine, is what people keep saying. Like,
Oh, okay,
yeah,
sure.
I don't know if that's what the controversy is, but it's fucking weird to me that it's like this big legendary fucking band, and you're upset about the prices. Like, I don't know, whatever. Watch them online then, I guess.
Yeah. What do we want to go next to? Let's follow it on the line. Brad Jacoby asks, which this is a weird thing to think about, but if you weren't the House of Masks and you weren't doing content and stuff, what career do you think you'd be sitting in right now?
I'd just be full time tattooer.
Sure.
Yeah, so um, it's one of those situations where like everyone gets upset when I'm not tattooing because I'm good at tattooing.
Hmm.
And I could make way more money doing that. I just love making videos. Like that is where my heart is. I've tattooed for a long time, which is funny because I'm not that old, but yeah, just there's this is just where it's supposed to be. So I always have tattooing to fall back on, but um, and I like to have it for when this isn't so fun. Like it's not every day that I'm like, okay, like now I want to fucking have to make this video, and sometimes there's not content to make. So it's refreshing to go do a tattoo, and I'm to the point with that now where it's like I can do whatever I want tattoo wise. So uh, yeah, like let me do some weird like mushroom ghoul on you or some shit. Yeah, definitely tattoo. Short answer. Yeah.
Yeah, no, I think that's a super good outlook on everything. I figured you were gonna say tattooing, but I wasn't for sure. Um, I just like the idea of it because, like, as far as you've come now, there's probably no looking back at this point, but it's good to have that perspective,
Yeah.
almost like a humbling thing. But uh, I mean, when did you hit 100,000 subscribers? Do you remember what month?
I think it was November of 2020, but I could be wrong.
Trying to remember. I was looking the other night when I was talking to these people on my live stream, and I saw you're at like 133 now, which is like a third of the way to 200. So
Yeah.
it's stacking them up.
And there's times when it gets bigger. Like the last, basically since the open house last year, I like peaked, and it's been fucking terrible. Like YouTube has done something to me or my content for sure, but I think we're climbing up out of that. So I would look for like a bigger rise now than what there has been for the entirety of this year for sure.
Sure, absolutely. Someone named Trent the Destroyer wanted to know what your worst concert experience has been.
Worst concert experience. I don't know. I don't know that I've ever had a really negative experience at a concert. My the first things that are coming to mind are the fact that like I've made all these connections during COVID.
Mm,
I'm not able to utilize them to the fullest potential. Like I was kind of like buddy buddy with Billy Strings there for a second, which I don't know if we're not. We just don't talk anymore because I'm not like
yeah,
blowing them up all the time. But they finally toured again, and it's like I could have been sitting backstage having a great time with this dude that I think is super cool, but COVID, so no one's allowed to do anything, and it's like could have gone and hung out with West Borland, and I had the VIP passes to do so, but the venue was like, nope, COVID. So shit like that sucks. It's just like what could be, you know?
For sure. Personally, I think it would be All That Remains. That was a really rough show.
I don't know. Yeah, I don't know that I've ever seen them.
He was literally like fighting with people in the crowd essentially, and it was more fighting than concert, and then they left. So
yeah. Marilyn Manson's pretty terrible live. I didn't see him like because I wanted to go see him. He just happened to be at a festival of Slipknot, and then he did a tour with Slipknot, and he went on before him both times. And the first like 20 seconds, I was like, "Holy shit, that's Marilyn Manson! Like that's a larger than life moment." And then he proceeded to just like almost vomit and try not to pass out for the remainder of the shows. And I was like, "Okay, well."
God. Okay. So if you could pick anyone to collaborate with, whether it be via video form or mask form, who would it be? Maybe for both, actually. Video and mask. Who would you pick?
Video would definitely be Buckethead. I just anything that you did with that dude would turn out cool. Doesn't matter if it's just him staring at you. Like it would turn out cool for sure. Mask. If I could. So what do you mean with this? Like if we had to create one?
Sure, yeah. Ground up. Who would you pick to produce a new piece for you?
I'd have Lonnie sculpt my idea of what I would be as a Gwar character.
Okay, that would be super solid.
Yeah, that'd be cool.
Let me go back down my list here. Pale Sun wants to know your favorite Silent Hill game.
Two. That essentially is the only Silent Hill game. Like the first four are great and they're legendary and whatever, but everybody knows that Silent Hill 2 is the peak of that franchise.
Okay. This one was for both of us. There was two of them for both of us, so I just put those to the side separately. Flaming Skull Masks wanted to know what inspired each of our personal face paint designs.
So I have a bunch. Basically, the whole idea behind this like era is I had my own thing for a while that really wasn't related to too much. Like my mask did take inspiration from people that I liked, but it was so many things like attributed that it had its own look essentially. Like I guess you could say the mouth looked like a tattoo of the earth, but at the end of the day, it just looks like me smiling.
Yeah.
This time, Bishop had the idea to do these death masks, and I was like, okay, that'll be cool. And then I quickly was like, I want to make this my look. Like, I want this era to be the era of honoring the people that have allowed me to have like this fucking super dope thing that's in my life. That is my life, essentially. So, I just felt really close to that John Rice paint job with this one, and I was like, man, I fucking love that. Like, you can see the love on this mask every time I take it off because there's a new blemish or a new thing of face paint or like something has changed, and I fucking love that. So I wrapped this for some promo pictures and stuff, and I might have like prematurely released that West Borland one, but I'm feeling West Borland pretty hard with that show and like diving into his looks and researching all this shit. And he was the first theatrical musician I ever saw, so like pre-Slipknot, I have that guy to thank. And we're nowhere near done. It's hard to tell. Like, I wrapped that other look from 2016 till the beginning of this year, so it's hard to say how many of these. Like, it could be 5, it could be 20. I don't know, but it's the year of, like, honoring my inspiration, or the era of honoring my inspirations. And this jumpsuit's not permanent. I think people seem to think that this is going to be a thing that sticks around or that I'm going to have multiple jumpsuits, but I'm going to wear this until Palefest, and then there's a whole different attire that I'm really excited to see. Sean Cagle is putting it together for me, and
Okay.
dude, he's doing more for that than I am. Like, I gave him a general idea, and he's like, I found these. Like, we should make these work. And I'm like, holy fuck. Like, people are going to shit their pants, I think. Like, I'm not even ready to see it.
Hell yeah. Sean has hit me up a couple times because I was like throwing some like weird custom suit ideas at me, and then he found out when we were talking that I'm like fucking mammoth sized.
Yeah.
So he was like suddenly really into the idea of making me a suit because he wants to like put himself to the test essentially. So
Oh yeah, dude.
like I don't think I've ever actually officially posted it, but I have this huge glittery fucking sparkly ICP suit here that was made custom made to my dimensions by Tall Jess. He's like a ICP lore kind of guy. He makes the suits for them, but he's also like, if you listen to their old school shit, he's referenced all the time. It's basically just one of their homies that also happened to work for them, and it turned into like a lifelong friendship thing. So
Oh yeah.
suit by Tall Jess. So that was kind of like my thing for a little bit. But I don't know, my face paint, I've done a couple designs. I started settling on this one that I've been doing. Literally like 2 weeks ago, I started drawing this one up. But I have a couple different ones that are like clown themed, and this one's kind of like a toss up between like corpse paint and clown, but there's not a whole lot behind it. I just draw on my face all the time, and I'm bald now, so I want to do something where it goes like all the way back or something. So maybe that'll be a Pale Fest look. I'll pay like a professional clown designer and have them draw a new face paint for me or something.
You know who Bam Bam Bigelow is?
I do, yeah.
Dude, get your fucking head tattooed.
I was talking about that with Russell the other night. I was like, dude, I want to get my temple tattooed really bad, but my mom would fucking kill me.
Dude, his shit was so cool. I don't even really know what, I think it's like fucking thorns or flames or something, but it looks so sick.
Yeah.
So sick.
Oh, good one. I can't remember who asked it. I, for some reason, didn't take notes, but they wanted to know both of our favorite cakes.
Oh, you know what's weird? I've been asked that more times in the last week than I think I've ever been asked that in my life combined.
I wonder if someone who already asked it to you, and that's why they put it in my Instagram thing.
Yeah. Well, so we have a bakery. Sarah Myers is one of my friends. It's funny just how small Chillicothe is. I had this friend named Sarah Myers that I met through tattooing who was like, still is, big time cake artist. Like she's been on fucking like Disney. She's been on like the Travel Channel, all that shit where they do cake stuff, Food Channel, obviously. She opened a bakery with one of my best friend's wives. And they've been fucking killing it. Like they're still doing shit. Like we just went to a watch party a couple of months ago where they won this Disney competition. So she wants to make the cake for this year because someone made a cake last year at the open house.
Yeah, yeah.
And I was like, why don't you guys just fucking booth? We'll have you guys just do all the spooky sweets because their shit is art. Like they could make any one of these masks as a cake and it would look fucking good. So, but anyways, yeah, she asked, and I felt really stupid giving her my answer because she's used to these like $400 or $500 cakes, and mine is like a Pepperidge Farm frozen coconut cake. It's just vanilla with vanilla icing and then coconut sprinkles, and it's fucking awesome. And she was like, "I love this," so it made me feel a little less bad about it. But
oh, there you go.
Yeah.
I've always been a sucker for carrot cake. I don't know why. A lot of people hate it, so I guess I'm just fucking weird like that.
I haven't had a carrot cake in so long. I kind of want one though.
But yeah, that's a super basic one.
Yeah.
Someone on Facebook, Jason Hamilton, had a interesting one because I know you're not as fan of a Mick, and you've poked at him a couple times online, like how he never fucking changes his look, literally ever.
Yeah.
But
people, I make fun of one member of Slipknot, and that is V-Man.
Yeah, yeah.
It's because he makes it so fucking easy, and I don't have an issue with that. I don't dislike him. Maybe at this point I dislike him a little bit because, I mean, ask literally anyone that has ever interacted with him on the internet. I'm sure he's a great dude in person, and I've heard nothing but good fan stuff about him there. But, like, people will compliment his guitar, his bass guitar, which a fucking bass guitar is a guitar. So if someone says, like, hey, nice guitar, man, and then he blocks you, it's like, okay. That's kind of weird.
Yeah, he's got that ever-growing block list for, like, seemingly no reason.
Yeah, like, that became a meme for a reason, so it's not me, it's him. Anyways, I don't have an issue with Mick. I think it's fine that he doesn't change his look because that's the most like Mick thing that he could do. That's what separates him from literally anyone else in the band. And if he's happy with his mask, he's happy with his mask.
Sure. But the rest of that was if what do you think he could change to be a unique mask for this new cycle that's coming up in probably the next couple months?
I think that he could reintroduce some like metal rivets to the current design and have a mesh of the original two for self-titled in Iowa and the current thing that he likes so much. I think sculpturally it could be left almost the same. You could put rivets on there, and then he tried to do like the rust thing for .5, like you could have rust on the rivets. Little subtle changes that wouldn't affect whatever he does like about it, I guess.
Okay, yeah, no, that's pretty solid. I always thought it would be really cool if he tried to reintroduce like some type of a leather devil aspect, but then mix it like kind of you said with other things like a leather devil, but almost if it was like the gray chapter. Like I always liked how the gray chapter sculpt was kind of like that, like heavy texture, like instead of like the smooth,
Yeah.
like a somehow heavily textured like leather devil type thing. I feel like would be really cool.
Yeah. Yeah, I'm just glad he didn't go with whatever S&G sculpted as a proto back in the day because it looked like an anime Nick. So
Uh, the one with the 7.
yeah, in the seven's cool. Like I see Biz just said a giant 7 on the forehead. That could work. Or like he was always repping like hate on his guitar or something. Like you could do something
Yeah,
easily. But if he found his thing and he likes it, then that's whatever.
for sure. I know someone in chat a while ago commented, "What is, in your opinion, the most underrated era of Gwar?"
Oh, Ragnarok. Yeah, I'm all
Dude,
that people don't like that record more. Not that it was super fucking experimental for them. I think like they were using samples and shit on that record, which is so sick to me. Like one of the biggest things I love about White Zombie is that they use samples. And I think a lot of people would agree that one of the biggest things I love about Slipknot is that there's samples. So for this record, like Dirty Filthy has
oh
like
my,
40 samples in it, and they're sick. How do you have a Gwar song where they use a boy band chorus that's just saying like, and it sounds so cool. So yeah, Ragnarok is my pick for sure.
yeah, no. When I first started getting into Gwar, I made a PayPal account and used because you used to be able to buy eBay gift cards.
Yeah,
They just started reintroducing those, but I was able to get eBay gift cards when I was 12 years old. Like, I don't think I was legally even allowed to have an eBay. I'm pretty sure you always had to be 18,
yeah,
but they didn't know that. And I bought Hello, America Must Be Destroyed, Ragnarok, and War Party. I bought those 4 CDs in a lot. So, like, Ragnarok was like one of the albums that founded me into this weird theatrical band fucking person I am today.
it's so good. Like the legit songs, like Wargle, like that is a fucking masterpiece. But then you also have sleazy rap, only other song that he does, and it's the best song that he does. So,
Yeah.
dude, Ragnarok is sick.
One of my personal questions that I forgot to write down, but I remembered it now that we're talking, was if you could pick a band or a singular artist that isn't theatrical that you think could be a good theatrical, who would you put in there?
Um, it'd be cool to see Billy Strings do some sort of metal bluegrass combination under a different name, totally anonymous, and not tell anybody it's him.
Sure.
Because the dude is a fuck like the music that he makes when he is solely doing bluegrass is heavier than most metal that's out there right now. And people always think that that's weird when I say that, but like there's a Turmoil and Tinfoil live thing. It's the first thing I show people of him playing that song live whenever I talk about Billy Strings.
Mm-hmm.
He is fucking possessed. Like it is brutal. It is the most metal shit you'll ever see, and it's all on an acoustic guitar. So I think that he could easily do some sort of crossover experimental thing and not tell anybody it's Billy Strings. He could be in a fucking mask with an anonymous thing, and it would be sick.
Yeah, like a Chris Gaines type thing.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Uh, I got introduced to Billy Strings from you, but then he has been hanging out with Les Claypool. Like he'll stay with Les for like a week every couple of months, and they have like this like I don't even know what you want to call it, like this like a garage band type thing
Yeah.
going. So like I think that's like the coolest thing ever. Like
Yeah, dude, just him as a person. Like, I would love to be just a fly on the wall for a day and watch Billy exist. Like, he's fucking making music with Les Claypool one day, and then the next day he posts a picture of him and fucking Post Malone playing music together. I'm just like, man, what a fucking cool dude.
a when I saw Gwar last month, they had a band. I don't know if they went on the whole tour or if it was just like the Midwest leg of the tour, but they had this bluegrass metal band called Native Howl play for them, and it made me think of Billy a bunch.
Really?
But I think Billy is quite above their level. But it was a fun thing. But yeah, it was like the whole like bluegrass metal type fusion type thing. It was pretty neat.
Yeah, I'll have to check them out because that sounds fucking cool. But yeah, dude, nobody's on his level. He is so far above, and he's so young. Like, bluegrass dudes are in their 60s, and this
Yeah,
is my age, so it's hard to tell where he'll be. And I remember showing him to people, and they had kind of already heard of him, and then within a year, he was winning Grammys, and I was like, oh fuck, like, yeah, he's. I kept saying like he's single-handedly saving music. So
that's cool.
yeah.
Let me see some chat questions here. Someone wants to know what is one thing that you dislike about Slipknot.
One thing that I dislike about Slipknot is one thing that I dislike about Slipknot. It's funny because you think that I have a trillion things, but I think just as I've matured, I've cared less and less about the shit that I used to complain about.
Sure.
Um, I don't know. Fucking V man. That's
There.
yeah. More specifically, I hate the fact that he fucking plays a head stockless bass.
There's this kid I work with who uh is like he builds custom guitars, and I brought it up to him a while back. Like I was like, "What do you feel about like a headless stuff?" And he literally just like threw his hands up in the air and rolled his eyes. It was like the funniest thing. It made me think of you.
Yeah, like obviously I'm not a guitarist or a bass player or anything like that, so I don't know what I'm talking about. But every time I bring it up to a musician, they like roll their eyes. So I'm glad that I at least have somewhat good taste in that.
Um, someone Lorenzo asked, "What's something about mask collecting that most people like on the outside wouldn't know?"
I don't think they realize how ultimate art project mask making is. So they see this fucking like, oh, it's a $25 clown mask, but it's like from start to finish, there's so many avenues that thing has to go through. You are sculpting, and then you are doing the not so fun stuff, which I'm sure there are people out there that love making molds and casting and trimming and all that shit. But then there's the paint job, and then in most instances in my collection, there's the finish, which is the leather work and the fucking metal work and the zipper work and shit. And it's like, I used to be really shitty about prices. I'd be like, fuck, he wants $300 for that. And that was just because I couldn't afford it. And now, having been here for so long and dabbling in so much shit myself, I'm like, Jesus Christ, it's no wonder no one wants to do anything. So much that fucking goes into it. So it is a true form of artistry, and people, they'll never be, like, a mask maker is never going to be taken as serious as, like, a classic painter or a classic sculpture artist or whatever. So,
Yeah, that's kind of how I feel right now too. Like with me jumping into like dating apps for the first time fucking ever. Like people are like, "Oh my god, you make masks? Like, how is that?" And I've explained this to like 10 different people now. It's just like this repeat process now. Like it's like for me, it's like when I start explaining it to someone like who's completely outside who has no idea.
mm-hmm.
Start off by like you think it's like this really niche thing, and then you get into these Instagram accounts and these Facebook groups, and you realize actually how huge of a scene it is. Like, how many members are in like the House of Mass Hangout?
Like going on 8,000 or more.
I was gonna say, I thought it was about 8,000. So like, that's just one group, and then there's all these other groups where they might not be as good, but they have bodies there, and like there's people who are like completely outside who aren't like in the social media aspect at all, but they and like movie production companies and all this stuff, and I'll like try to explain the market to people because a lot of people they think like they have like Party City or Spirit Halloween like ingrained in their brains, and they think everything should cost $50.
Yeah.
And then I'm like, yeah, this mask costed $500, and they're like, what?
Yeah. Even the Party City stuff, that's something I think about too, is like these masks that we walked by and couldn't give a shit less about, someone still fucking sculpted them. Like someone still
No,
put something in that. So yeah, if people are like, oh, like how much you think your collection's worth? I literally can't put a price on it, but I can tell you I'd have a nice fucking house if I sold my shit.
yeah, I've done that. I did that with my collection 3 years ago. And that was before I got like some really big ticket pieces in. Like that was granted, I didn't have my Ghost Glow or my Youth then, and I don't have them now because they went to other people. Like Ranger has my fucking Youth because I just felt weird having it. Like I'm not a super Craig guy. I miss it now. I wish I kept it, but
Yeah.
Ranger like 8 real Youth helmets at this point, so I knew it had to go to him essentially.
Yeah, they don't understand the investment. I'd like to add up just what I paid for my Gwar stuff and see what the number is, and then I'd like to side by side that with what I could sell each piece for and see what that is.
Yeah, absolutely.
Not that the Gwar stuff is ever going to leave, like out of anything, that's the shit that'll stay, but that's the shit that I spent the most on individually, so be interesting.
What are some other ones that are in here?
I see Raging Dumpster Fires here. That's the only person that was ever able to get a mini vampire out of my possession.
Yeah.
Old Vincent. And I miss it too. I was like, I'll sell this. It's stage used. It's like not in the best shape. I'm gonna be whatever. I got fucking 6 of them in there, and now I sold it, and I'm like, fuck. Oh well.
And I like slept on that one like literally four times. It was presented to me 4 times, and I slept on it every time because I was worried about it because the guy kept it like not good, like in a closet, like flat.
Yeah.
And I'm like, this thing's probably dead as fuck. And I really like it was offered to me like as low as like $250 at one point, and I slept on it every time, and then it went to you, and I think I even reached out to you. I was like, I slept on this one like a fucking idiot. Like, I'm really glad you of all people have it because I don't think anyone else really deserved it.
Well,
And
I'll tell you what. Vincent was only able to squeak that one out because I saw his collection and I saw what he was collecting, and the fact that it was stage used. It only felt right. Like I've been presented with so many good opportunities to own shit because people feel like my collection is the collection that should go to.
mm-hmm.
And I wouldn't have half my Gwar shit if that wasn't the case. So he did it right. Like he did it right. His collection was legit, and he paid the price. I didn't have to sell it, and he didn't have to agree to pay the price, and he did. So I think it's in good hands, and I don't think it's going to leave his collection. So I'm happy to get there. As much as I want it back,
Yeah.
he deserves it.
Vincent's old school shit is nuts to me, and like every once in a while, him and I will talk like fashion, like a month ago, him and I were talking about like how Skinny used to wear like all the old school like fucked shit.
Mm.
And Vincent's a fucking wizard, and he knows how to track down like the actual like the specific one.
Yeah.
And it was just like blowing my mind. And then we were talking like the ocean specific rainbow schmott sweater. Like the dude knows his shit. I'm glad he has it too. Like so, I agree with you on the whole. I think he is the one who was meant to have that one out of a handful of other people who tried.
Yeah, absolutely. I just the fact that I knew that it belonged with him because of the stage used aspect is what does it for me. And I don't like really look back on it and like regret that or anything. I wish he would post more photos of his collection because his stuff is cool as shit.
Yeah, no, he's been going live with me on occasion. I've been doing these weird late night streams, and he'll join. And he's a good dude to have on there. I love his shit. He knows his stuff. He's one of the few old school collectors that I like talk to.
Yeah.
A lot of the old school collectors are kind of dickheads sometimes. So
you need to get on one of these. Not to like interrupt you, but that dude is such an enigma to me. Like he fascinates the fuck out of me, and he's a killer artist. Obviously, I would just love to watch him talk. You need Mikey on one of these. That's what I'm trying to get at.
Mikey.
He's in.
Oh, yeah, the dude fucking, I don't know why he likes my work. The dude's like a fucking,
He's a wizard, dude.
literally, I want to send him one of my sad clowns. Like, I send him a blank and be like, do magic on this, please.
Yeah.
I love his fucking speed paints, like the time lapse he does. Like, those kill me. They're so good.
Even just his edits, man. Like he had like a an edit of a Safuthi Frankenstein, and like just the jingle that he had going along with it. I was like, man, I want to just watch this dude exist.
Yeah, his fucking editing work is phenomenal. I'm assuming he uses like
That's another person. I said Lonnie earlier with the Gwar thing. If I was gonna do a completely custom mask just based on nothing but like creature design or monster design, I would go to Mikey because he's so cool.
one of his masks. I'm trying to remember what it's actually called. It's kind of like a genie looking mask.
Yeah.
For getting the name wrong, I know it's wrong, Mikey. If I had the money right now, like if I wasn't going into the gathering in less than a month, I want you to finish one like the Great Malenko, like the ICP album cover, because the sculpt is literally perfect for it. Like
That's sick.
it
Yeah.
would look so cool. Like if
Please,
you
please
like
get him on here.
for sure.
Try to set that up. If that's not, I don't know how many guests you had planned or whatever, but I would really like to see him on here.
Right now?
No, just like for one or whatever.
Yeah, no, I would love to set that up. Mikey, if you would like to go live on Instagram for an interview in the future, I would totally like to do that. I think this is gonna be like a staple thing now. Maybe if I can do one like every 2 weeks or something, like an interview and have people from the outside throw in questions too, I think it would be a really good thing. And since like I'm content creator too, like nowhere near as you, but I literally just graduated from fucking media school, so I'm like trying to dip my toes into that. And like I've had a YouTube channel created since 2018 and I never uploaded anything because the first video I ever shot talking about my hands mask, the files corrupted like to shit and I lost like all of the B-roll and half of the A-roll. So
Yeah, that sucks. I welcome everybody to the world of content creation because I love to see what people are doing. And everybody's like editing style and presentation is so much different. It's interesting to see like artists presenting themselves the way that they want to rather than like my unboxings are all the same really. So like how can I truly represent your business and your company and your art? And Mikey is one of those people that has it figured out because he makes videos on his own shit and they're cool.
they're so good. And like I feel like every art form he touches is good. Like his graphic design is insane. His video work is insane. His mask work is insane. The sculpts are good. Like when I see him posting like molds he makes, his mold work looks so good. It's like the most perfect mold I've ever seen. And I have these molds that have like tumors, but they cast, so good enough. Like,
He's a wizard for sure.
oh, shit, I forgot what I was gonna say now. There's this one might be personal, but someone named Pete Garcia asks, what was one of the greatest influences? Oh, sorry, I read this wrong. Seeing that one of your greatest influences has been your grandfather and your dad, what has been the best advice that they have given you that you stick with today?
My grandpa told me something that stuck with me forever ago, but it's nothing to do with this. He said, when you're on the road, you're not just driving for yourself, you're driving for everyone around you. So when I drive now, I try to keep that pretty mindful. No, I don't know. I think I helped my dad grow up, so I'm not sure that there was much advice that came from that. And that's no offense to him. He just was in the place that he was in and got himself out of that place, I guess. But my grandpa, I don't know, man. It wasn't advice shit from them. It was just watching them. Like still to this day, like I'll talk to him and I'm terrified of death. Like I just don't want to fucking die. And as depressed as I get, and even as much as I'm like, man, I wish I was never born, I'm here now, and it's just something that I have to deal with, being terrified of death. But my grandpa was just like, oh, I could die tomorrow and I'd be fine. He's like, I've lived a great life and I'm just ready to go whenever. And I'm like, how the fuck? Like, I want to get to that point where, as like goofy and gooberish as he is, we make fun of him stuff all the time. Like, it's shit like that. And I'm like, I just hope that I reach that level one day. And like, he's never been divorced. Like, him and my grandma still like fucking make fun of each other and have fun all the time and shit. It's just like, that's the shit that I want, man. Like, he's got that part figured out, I guess.
Yeah, it's that was something that I have thought about a couple times since the open house, but that was really cool too. Was going there and seeing like your family that I've seen on the opposite end of a screen.
Yeah.
How many years? Like, I've known about your grandpa's collection. Like, I've found masks that your grandpa had, and I've sent them to you because I knew like the value that they held for you and shit. And I was like, holy shit, that's Jason. There's AJ's dad,
Yeah.
which your dad was like so intimidating to me. I literally said like 3 words to him. He's like, Mr. Paul J. Vick. And then I was standing next to Paul, and he's like, you must be Mr. Will Latow, right? My
Yeah.
friend's dad. Because
Yeah, dude,
he,
he is just as like fangirl as anybody else over that shit. So it's funny too. I feel bad a lot because my dad like puts himself in shit. He'll like, I'm involved with this now because he's just so excited about it. And my mom wants to be, but doesn't. So it's fucking cool to have parents that just think that this shit is sick and want to be involved. And I haven't decided what I'm gonna have my mom do for Pale Fest this year, but she really wants to help, and I'm like, I'm gonna give her like a boss ass bitch job, so she just handle it, because like I said, my dad doesn't ask, he just does shit. And she's my mom's the shit, man. My mom's like my best friend, so yeah, they're cool as fuck. And
it was cool to see like the extended good family there. Like I believe it was your cousin who was like super young, but he's a big ass dude like me. You were like telling people like, guess how old this kid is?
yeah,
Guess how old this kid is? Like, it was just fun. It was like I don't know, it was like seeing a family reunion from the outside, but still feeling super welcomed at the same time.
yeah, that's Michael. And he's been hanging out with me a lot lately. He went to Richmond with me, and he did camera guy shit down there, and then he's been helping with the Good Life. But even our first couple booths at Mask Fest, like him and my uncle, his dad, and my aunt, his mom, fucking came out to Mask Fest and booked for the weekend, and they weren't there to hang out. Like, they were fucking like running the booth so that I could go get food or whatever. They were for it, so I owe them a lot. And even Reggie, dude, like Reggie here last year, fucking
Reggie's a fucking superstar. I love that.
just, I didn't know he was doing that. I had no idea it was gonna happen. I'm watching the footage back, and he just like handed candy out to people. I'm like, it's just cool as shit, man.
It's really weird. Like, that's like a thing that I've always looked back on. Like, I don't really consider myself to be anyone, but I definitely know I have carved at least a small cubby for myself within this community that you've graciously opened up for us and shit. But it's like, I take a step back and look at all the connections I've made and all the stuff that's happened, good and bad. Like, I've had beef with people in the past, and I've exposed scammers and shit like that. And I know there's people who don't really like me, and there's people who shit on me because I'm a juggalo and or mushroom head fan and shit like that. But it's just like this. I'm really gracious for this whole little world that I've been included in, and like now things are starting to open up more and more every year. It's like when I founded Wisconsin Mask Collector, also Wisco Masco, in 2018, I don't think I ever anticipated running a booth for an event that you're hosting, let alone like making masks for ICP's stage show. And now I'm making masks for Ouija Mac, who's another rapper that I fucking adore. Like, the dude inspires me daily, and I don't know. It's just like there's new doors opening up every couple odd months, and I have people like you in the mask hobby to thank. So it's just like something I try to stay humble for, but then something I also try to like be proud of myself for, because like with everything that's happened the past couple months to me, graduating college after having literal straight A's for 3 years and being on the dean's list and the president's list and being named in the highest honors category, I didn't give a fuck about. I didn't feel like an ounce of pride about that,
Yeah,
dude.
that's what it is, man. It's exponential growth, and there's a reason that it works the way it does. And I'm a big like rap fan, obviously. So I watch all this shit about like Eminem, and then obviously if I'm watching stuff about Eminem, I'm watching stuff about like 50 Cent. And I watched a video the other day where someone asked 50 Cent what the biggest check he ever got was, and he said $80 million. And they were like, "And you kept working?" And he's like, "That's what I'm here to do." And like that is really it, because no matter how big or small those accomplishments are, like me and you and probably no one that we know is ever going to see $80 million. But just the fact that I put on a 4-hour event last year and I had more money in my hand than I had ever really held before, and like I made that money, but I immediately looked at Bishop and I was like, okay, like I've got this money, but like that was the shit. Like we need to do that again. I want that feeling,
Yeah.
people, and that I want to throw this out because I feel like I don't do it enough. By the way, Bishop and Jasmine are doing more for this festival than I could ever imagine doing. So massive, massive shout out to both of them at Paleface. And yeah, they are going above and beyond, and they're putting in way more work than I am. So um, if anybody thinks that it's just my festival or whatever, that's extremely untrue. So I want to give a huge
It's hosted, but there's a lot of stuff behind the scenes, and it's been very evident since Bishop and Jasmine came into the scene. Like I during the open house, Bishop and I walked away from everyone else and we went under their tent when everyone else was in the opposite end, and him and I had like a really, 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 really cool heart to heart because like I was watching his live streams when they were still in California when there was two other people in there and those other people were fucking off. Like it was like he was talking to me, but it was a live stream all the time.
yeah.
So it's like crazy to see how big like Paleface turned into, and then like how hard they work and all the shit they do. Jasmine so fucking smart.
Yeah,
Their business model is like so admirable to me.
yeah,
Like I can comprehend like being able to run like that. Like for me, I'm still very, very side hustle with mass, but I hope one day to be running as efficiently, like a fraction of what they can do.
yeah. They are they're very special individuals on so many levels. Like obviously Bishop is the mouthpiece and he whatever, but like even Madam Paleface, she'll come down here with him every single time, and we might say 3 words to each other the whole time that she's here, and that just is what it is, and it's great because when she leaves, big fucking hug, and I just know that like that is one of my people, like that is, and I fucking like I don't know, man. I bitch to them more than anyone. Bishop is my best friend, and I bitch to him constantly, and he just fucking deals with it, and he gives me good advice, and I love both of those people very, very much, and yeah, they have turned the hobby around. Like people can say that like I exposed them to the hobby, and that's great shit, but I will always look at them and what they've done in such a short time, and just think like
Oh yeah,
the work ethic, like they give me something to strive for, and it's a really cool relationship that we've gotten. So, um, yeah, that's it. I just want to give them a big shout out and lots of love. They deserve it.
yeah. No, they have quite a chokehold on like a lot of the way things functions in our little scene. It's fucking crazy to me, and I've told Bishop that a couple times. Like him and I, when shit really started going down with me in life the past couple months, he happened to reach out to me one day when I was like real bad, and he sent me like 30 minutes worth of dialogue and voice messages, like not because he had to, because he clearly wanted to, and he
Yeah,
was giving personal life stories and advice and how to reflect and calm myself down and shit. Like it really, I don't know if he's still in here or if Jasmine is in here, but I don't think they understand how much that alone
yeah,
uh, resonated with me, because like I'm relatively young compared to a lot of people on the scene. Not anymore. I was a young buck for like 2 years there, but now I'm 23, and there's people like Lonnie who is 18. I can't remember how old Lonnie is.
yeah. He might be 19 or 20 at this point, but
I think so, yeah. But literally like way younger than me. Dude, we're just talking here. I don't know why you're saying you're gonna kill yourself in my comments. That's really concerning.
Please don't kill yourself.
Yeah, I don't know you, but I think you have a lot to live for. Please don't do that. That's really concerning that you put this on my live stream. I'm sorry for whatever you've got going on, but we're just having an interview here.
You gotta go find yourself a bishop, dude. He'll stop you from killing yourself.
Biz says I'm still a young buck. Thank you. I try. I'm trying to carve something.
Yeah, dude, if I could go back to 23, I'd fucking I'd do a lot of shit different for sure.
Yeah, I don't know what like I know for sure what I want to bring, like some things and like how I want to present myself at Pale Fest, but there's still so much uncertainty for like the booth as a whole. Like Paul and I are throwing ideas back and forth. Like what we've been talking about is like from the get-go, I was like, I'm bringing a cooler full of exotic Faygo flavors that people can't find in Ohio because
Oh yeah, dude.
like in Wisconsin, we're literally connected and Lake Michigan goes back and forth. So I get like hella Faygos over here. I'm like, that will be such a good gimmick. People will go feral to get a fucking Faygo. Like
Yeah.
even people who aren't even juggalos, they just get the gimmick and they love that.
I'd
So
be fucking stoked because Mash literally owns a Faygo machine. Did you know that?
yeah, I screen recorded one of his stories like probably almost a year ago at this point.
Yeah.
That was just hilarious to me.
Yeah, he bought a Faygo machine. It was like one of the only Faygo machines I've ever seen in real life. And he bought it and put it over at the bike shop, and now like that's one of his jobs is he keeps that fucking thing stocked up. What's your favorite Faygo, by the way?
Mine?
Yeah.
Okay, so with like diet and shit, I don't really drink a whole lot of Fagos, but I have like a top 5 that I always tend to go visit back to for like a treat. And a while back, I sent you those cotton candies, and you drank it on camera, which like made my fucking day. But definitely cotton candies. I love 60/40, which is basically kind of like a squirt, but personally, I think it's better. Maybe it's just me being biased.
I've never even heard of that.
Yeah, it's 60/40. It's grapefruit.
That's weird. Yeah, so I still have that cotton candy one. Or one of the two. It's like literally that. I like black cherry. That's not fair. I like black cherry.
Black cherry is a staple for a lot of people I know. There's a Arctic Sun, which is like a citrus. It's white, but it comes in like a dark blue bottle. It's like one of the only colored Faygo bottles. It's not clear. It's a dark blue bottle.
Oh yeah, I like the way you say Faygo.
Faygo?
Faygo.
Faygo.
Oh, anyways, enough about the Faygos.
Yeah. That's what I was going to get to next. Rock and Rye is a super staple.
Yeah, dude, cream soda's good too.
Their orange and grape are always a favorite.
Red Pop is okay.
Super strawberry boy.
Yeah.
Before I was a juggalo, someone gave me a sip of a Red Pop one time that was in their car on a hot summer day, and I drank like 130-degree Red Pop, and it was one of the worst experiences of my whole life.
That sounds terrible.
It literally like burnt the inside of my throat, and it like left a weird coating in my mouth, and it was just like hot strawberry syrup.
Like literally cooking inside the can. That's gross.
It was awful. My favorite ICP song lately, inspirational wise, is "The Show Must Go On," because that's kind of the story of my life right now. Everything broke down, and I'm rebuilding, and the show must go on. There's a new SCS thing going on every day. I fucking branded my skin like it's the whole focus. It's what keeps me going. Like I can't give up because I got to be there for Paul. We got to fucking make masks. We got Pale Fest coming up, so.
I don't know any ICP songs to give that. But Chicken Hunting.
There you go. Biz, I will be there all weekend, so I'll find you. I think they're playing Friday night. Is that what it was? That's cool. Well, maybe if we can get you and Mash in there, we can have a whole little giddy up there for a minute.
That'd be sick. Biz is going to the gathering. He also texted me like while we were on this live stream and said that he'll be at Pelfest, so that's cool.
Oh, I've gotten to meet Biz twice now at Mushroomhead Halloween shows, unmasked even.
Mm-hmm. I love.
Man, show his face very often, but I think he's a handsome fella and he should show his face more often.
Getting like I've known Biz for like 12 years now, maybe. And back in the day, I don't think he liked me.
I felt the same way. Biz is a hard character to read online sometimes.
Yeah, dude, it was one of those situations where like you could have a shot with that hot girl, but you think that that hot girl doesn't even know that you exist. And that's how I felt with Biz. I was like, man, he probably thinks I'm just a fucking twerp, which I was. But my, how the turns table. No, getting Bizified by him and just like building that relationship, even though I don't like Mushroomhead and there's all this shit or whatever. Like, I fucking love Biz. He's so cool.
Yeah, back when I was a little punk bitch and didn't know anything, was starting to join the Facebook groups. Like, dude answered my questions. Like, I'm sure I irritated him back and forth a couple times when I was pretty young. But like when I went to Cleveland the first time, he approached me and he knew who I was. So that was like crazy to me because Biz is like Shroom Group royalty at this point. Like everyone knows who Biz is. It's just like you and your own group. Biz is the AJ of the Mushroomhead groups essentially. So it's like, it's cool. It's like a little, I don't know. There's like people who are on pedestals that I think really deserve it, and then there's people who are on pedestals who don't deserve it. And I think both you and Biz and Bishop and Jasmine in that retrospect as well, I think you all deserve the pedestals that you're on for obvious reasons and different reasons between the other people. So
Well, thanks, man. I can remember before I knew who Biz was, I still lived at my parents' or at my mom's, and my fucking closet door was all Biz pictures that I printed out that were like this big, and it was just every one that I could find. So I would have like All Hope Is Gone set, and then I would have fucking Volume 3 set, and then Iowa and Self-Titled. And I remember specifically he had an All Gone female clown drawing, and I was so mesmerized by how he did the clear mask. I was just like, that is so fucking cool, because I don't know anything about digital art or graphic design or whatever.
mm-hmm.
But I was just like, that is so fucking cool that he was able to convey a clear mask through a South Park drawing. So, yeah.
Oh, Biz has gotten shouted out by like hella people, like, and I've seen his work bootlegged so much too.
Yeah.
There's on Amazon who's selling bootlegs of his odorous drawing, which he hasn't printed those odoruses in probably, Biz, when do you think you printed those odoruses? Probably like 6 or so years ago at this point?
It was when he died. It was when Dave died, so it's probably 2014.
Yeah. So like, and I've seen his work bootlegged like at like places, like a store. Like I've seen his shit, and they left the fucking watermark. Like,
dude, I literally have. I was looking at it today. I don't know if you guys will be able to see it or not, but I have the Biz watermark on there.
oh, that's awesome.
I fucking love Biz.
And like today, he posted that video of him with Enzo. I remember that. That was cool.
Yeah, dude. Yeah, Biz is cool. I would like, you know what I want to do? Like bucket list thing. I don't know if Mushroomhead even does this anymore, if they do old school shows. But I would like to just go to one with Biz.
I'm trying to. I think the last time they did one was like 2012.
I was gonna say it was probably when Schmatz wore the mask that I gave him, the Lady Di.
Yeah.
Which I would love to get back. If anyone knows the collector that owns that, maybe I could fucking work out a deal with him. But
that I'm not for sure.
Yeah, Biz, help me out.
Victor probably has it or something.
I don't know. If it was Victor, I could probably get it from him. I love Victor too.
2015? Really? That recent?
They did old school Krampus show before COVID, but the last proper one was years ago. Huh.
Yeah, they did like the micro set, like the mini old school show where Murder Nickel hopped up on bass, which was fucking so cool.
I miss Spots being in the band because that was one thing that I couldn't say bad about Mushroomhead. Like his keyboard work was fucking sick. Tom might text him about it. Yeah, do that. I would like to buy that back.
I was thinking that too. That maybe Tom still has it because I know Tom has like quite a few artifacts locked away.
Yeah. Oh, if Rich has it, there's no way I'm getting it because that guy doesn't like me.
I was worried he was gonna like say something on my personal page, but he didn't.
Yeah, he's a fuck. I remember him telling me that the mini vampires that I have were gonna rot and blah 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 blah, and I'm just like, well, now I got 6, bitch. Fuck on that. That guy's a fuck. Anyway, we don't need to shit on anybody.
Yeah, no, you're good. Does Farkas still have his, or did you get his off of him?
No, he still has his. That's one of those things where I'm gonna have to make like Danny Duncan money so I can just pull up with a briefcase and be like, here's fucking $3,000 that I won't carry.
That would be a good video because he lives in Ohio too, so you
Yeah,
could like.
yeah, just to get it. Like I don't need it, but I feel like the collection's not complete without it. So
Yeah, I'm surprised he hasn't sold it because like he sold like his whole collection. Like he had most of the 2015 Gathering of the Juggalos set, which is like my favorite set ever. And I always really, really, really wanted the J-Man, and he always told me it was never fucking leaving.
mm-hmm.
And one day he just like sold off everything, and I'm like, oh, that's cool. This mask that was never leaving now lives with me.
I would, if he did decide to sell that, he would hit me up because I think I'd give him a bigger price than anyone else would. Um, but yeah, I don't blame him for not getting rid of it. There's something fucking special about that mask.
I like the one you have that is like really gray. That's like my favorite one. The really gray with the really purple lips. That one is
Yeah.
cats me out to me. I fucking love that one.
Yeah, that one's my favorite because it was my first, I think. And then it's probably tied for favorite with the one that I just got off Bishop because that one from Bishop is so fucking good. Like it's my favorite style of paint job, but there's like a lot of shit missing around the mouth, which just gives it like such weird character.
Yeah, is that the one where you can see like a lot of latex too?
Yep.
Yeah, that one's so crazy.
They're all that's what's funny is like they're all so different. They I just love mini vampires, man. I could talk about mini vampires forever.
Someday, hopefully I'll get one if I can snipe it from you.
I wish you luck.
I thought I'd never get a pig out because there's like when I started collecting Mushroomhead, you could get those like for less than $100,
Yeah.
and now it's like $250. Like, and they're so hard to find all of a sudden. And I finally was able to get one, and it's like perfect shape. Like, it's like a thick pull. Like the paint's good. Like no signs of wear. It looks like it's brand new. Like I can't believe the one that I have is in such good condition. Like there's a guy who was trying to sell his. And it had like visible signs of rot, and I was like,
Yeah.
good luck with that.
We thought we hit the jackpot when we were in the attic at Distortions because there was a bunch of vintage stuff up there, and we found a box that said "Pig Out."
Yeah, I remember that.
Yeah, we thought we cut it open, and everybody was like disappointed, and Ed goes wah wah wah, like,
Yeah.
oh,
No, Biz gets it. Like all of a sudden there was just like a turning point when you couldn't find them anymore, and they were like super expensive. Like I remember one selling for $80 shipped at one point. Like, and the last one that I ever saw sold like fairly recently, like within the last couple months, was $250 plus shipping.
that's insane. I've had a couple people say that one that I just got is fake, but I don't think that it is.
That's why I didn't buy that one, because I saw it a week before you bought it, and in the comments they said that they are certain it was a Chinese recast, and that next to their original vintage, it was like a fraction of the size, so it was confusing. That's why I didn't buy it.
It's closer. It is closer to the size of my real one. It's thin, but the paint job is identical, and I have one of those Chinese ripoffs, and they are not the same. That one is so small that it barely fits me. And
Sure.
Yeah, like I can move around in that one. So I don't. If it is a Chinese recast, then it was done at a way, way different point. In
Sure.
those people doing it, but I think it's real.
Yeah, like if it is real, like $40
Hmm.
out, like the one I have is huge. Like I can put it on, and I have this like caveman mongoloid skull, so I'll just grab it. It's right here. Ugh. Like this one is like really nice compared to other people's I've seen.
Yeah.
Uh, it almost feels vinyl. That's how like weird and crazy it is. That's why I'm like obsessed with mine. I don't know.
Is the inside
I
black or is it just like raw latex looking?
it's painted, but on the inside it's like pink latex,
Yeah, yeah.
and it's
Uh,
like ungodly smooth. Like that's why I said it feels like it's vinyl because it doesn't feel like normal latex does.
you gotta find a Sabbath headband. Yeah, you do.
So I think the last person who got one of those paid like $150 for it, like for the headband, like for the bandana, I should say.
Yeah, but you gotta do what you gotta do.
I know. I want to put the earrings in that one too, like the old one with the beads. But I'm like, do I really want to put holes through this vintage pig out? Like, I feel like that's a travesty at this point.
Yeah, yeah. Spending money in a collection's weird because you spend the money on the items and then you spend just as much for other shit. Like
Accessories.
I get that way with displays, and I'm like, hey, fucking $600 in lumber or whatever.
That's kind of how it was when I got my first OG. Was like, I wanted to get a real Kangol hat, but then I realized Kangol is designer, and I ended up paying $85 for this fucking fur hat that I can't even wear.
Yeah, and again, most of these things are investments, so it'll come back to you if you wait 3 years for it to become super rare, and then all of a sudden everybody wants one, and they'll pay fucking 3 times what it was. Like, look at fucking new gen Rudells and how quick
Dude,
and how much they are going for. That like it's a point now where like Clowns in Stereo has a beautiful copy for $400, and I'm like, maybe I should grab that. And I'm like, what the fuck do I even need that for?
yeah, I have a really nice one with like the hair is super nice, but the paint was scrubbed off by the previous person who had it. But
Yeah,
like, it's also cut up the back. But because I have such a big head, I guess having it cut isn't so bad. But I literally got it for basically nothing, so I can't complain.
yeah. Everybody and their mom had one of those, and over a 6 month period, they became rare as shit, and now that they are selling for the prices people are posting them for too. So it's that quick, dude. The same thing.
Yeah, sold his one for like 450 or 500 that one day, like in a matter of a half hour. I was like, "What? We are in the dark ages, ladies and gentlemen."
Dude, it's fucking wild.
Every couple days, I keep checking the Rudell website. I'm like, "Come on, do something, please."
It almost made me wonder if there was something with the Tots Slipknot deal that was preventing her from doing it, and now that they're not doing that, maybe she'll bring him back.
Hopefully, I really hope so. There's something's got to give. This shit ain't cool anymore. I need self-titled conversions. I've been wanting those since I was a teenager,
Yeah, dude.
and I passed up on buying those and committing to those because it was like $50 Rudell. Like I can do that whenever I want. I can only buy this specific mushroom head mask right now, and then now $50 Rudell is fiction.
Yeah, absolutely. And that shit is like how many 83 Caesars were in the world that you could get for $2.99 at literally any store. And then within, I don't know, a couple years, they became a fucking $250 mask.
Well, it's like I have that uncut sheet of 6, and multiple people have reached out to me. Like this has only happened like 3 times. Like you should sell this to me. I'm like, first of all, I don't even know what to value it at because people will sell an 83 for like 100 or more,
Yeah,
and I have 6, and
yeah,
it's cut on a sheet. Like I don't even know what to value it at. And then I'm like, how would I ship to this person? Because it's a sheet of plastic like this big. Like I'd have to put it in like a TV box or something.
yeah. I would hate to see something like that destroyed too.
Yeah, it's run the risk of everything with that. Like I don't know. It's like the market is ever changing. Like one thing that I always bring up is like 5 years ago you could buy a vintage West G for like $500, and now it's like quadrupled.
Yeah, I remember like
That.
the most expensive one I had ever bought was like 600 from Travis, and I bought four from him, and I think they were like 300, 400, 400, and then 600. And now it's like friend to friend. Bishop was like totally fine giving me 1,200 for that perfect copy that I found, and I felt bad about it. And now they're going fucking like 2,500.
So insane. And now like the value of vintage West Germans went up, but the value of OG Ghost Glows went down.
Yeah, how
It's
weird
like
is that?
a weird influx that happened. Like I never wanted to sell mine when I first got it, and people were tossing like super high dollar amounts at me. And then when I was ready to sell it because I had shit I wanted to do and like
Yeah,
buy materials and stuff to invest into my own brand, like I couldn't sell it for $400 less than people had offered me in the past. So I'm like, I made a mistake here, I guess.
yeah, I'm kind of dealing with that right now with that like ring worn cane that I have, like the imposter cane. Um, some dude wants to buy it, and I considered it when there was a Gwar piece that I wanted to buy, but I ended up getting the Gwar piece anyways, and now that dude still wants it, and it's like I could really take this great price and apply it to the festival or whatever I'm going to do, but then I also won't have that and will probably never have the chance to own it or anything like it again. So for right
Yeah,
now,
pretty crazy thing. It's kind of in the realm of that guy who has the real gym that like has gone through hell and back.
yeah, yep. God, I wish I could get that fucking thing. Whatever.
At this point, like, how would you even go about like doing? Like, could you even like foam fill it? Like, I feel like it would just have to sit in its little nugget that it is. And
I would send it to Tom Cena.
oh yeah,
They could figure something out, I'm sure. In reality, it's in not great shape, but it's still recognizable. And if I can work wonders like I did on that fucking Sexecutioner that looked even worse, then I'm sure that Tom Spina would be worth the money.
that thing is crazy to me. That one, and then I really like the Sexecutioner you have. That was a replica, but it was still stage worn.
Yeah, Hunters.
That one's crazy to me. I fucking absolutely love that one. That's
Yeah, yeah,
one of my favorite pieces of yours ever.
yeah. We weren't sure if it was stage use, so I got it pretty cheap, and I talked to um, Chuck about it, and he said that looks like what do you call it, the impersonator Sexecutioner. So I started doing research and like looking at the clips and stuff, and it's fucking exact. It didn't have a mouth, and you can tell that this mouth was added by someone else later on, and I just left it for the display or whatever. But you can pop
Yeah.
the thing right off, like it's not attached; it's just wedged in there like latex to latex. So
Oh, weird.
yeah, that's the one. Fucking sick.
You know, because that one has the hair on it, not the sculpted.
Yep.
That's one of my preferences for Chuck's Executioner. Is I always liked the real hair instead of the sculpted. I think the sculpted looks dope too,
Yep.
but like something about the actual hair being through it like always got me.
I agree. There was so much texture to Gwar stuff back in the day before it was all clean. It was like you had latex, you had fucking metal, you had cloth, and then whatever else. I mean, you had shit that obviously stuff looks different too once it gets wet. So you'd have like the shininess of whatever the latex was, and then I don't know. Old school crude Gwar was a different kind of Gwar for sure.
Yes, juggalos are accepted if they're gay. All creeds, colors, size, shapes. You're good. Nobody would bat an eye if you told them you were gay. I mean, like every group, there's going to be people who are homophobic, but for the large majority, no.
I'm gay.
Hell yeah.
Some guy told me in the comments earlier, so
I saw that. He said, yeah, y'all hella gay. And I just disregarded it.
cool, dude. Hell yeah.
The people on TikTok love to troll lately. Like the other night when I was live, people were saying like some shit like you're a fucking poser, dude. Get off of here. And I was like, what am I posing as? I'm literally just like sitting here. Like, what?
Yeah, my favorite thing is people that bitch about stuff on my stuff. It's like, so you think all this shit about me, but this is the fourth comment I've seen from you in a week? Cool, dude.
Yeah. Like that one classic one where the guy was like Pantene shampoo, hoodie inside. Like that whole rant is just hilarious to
The
me.
fucking hoodie inside thing is the coolest shit I've ever heard because it makes no fucking sense at all. Uh,
Oh my god. The like positives and the negatives of what comes with what we do are like so hilarious sometimes. Like the negative will be so funny that it doesn't even really matter.
yeah. It's never, ever someone intelligent that's saying this shit to me. It's like, you just had to misspell that four-letter word, didn't you? Like, you couldn't get away with calling me a name without looking like a fucking idiot.
A while back, I can't remember if I told you or not, but I had a story on my Instagram, and I forgot that Daniel was still following me at the time, and he like sent me like this whack ass shit, and then before I could reply, he blocked me. It was so funny to me.
Yeah, that dude is a literal punching bag. Like, just what an absolute turd of a human being.
Hated you so much, but bought your T-shirt, and then
Yeah,
hated you again.
dude, whatever. That is the epitome of like man-child syndrome. He fucked up. He knows that he did. Everyone in the hobby knows he did, which is why people weren't surprised. And then instead of just like taking the help that we were trying to give him, he like fucking threw a fit about it. It's just like, okay, dude. Well, how many times have you heard him brought up aside for being made fun of since he left? None. None.
That still
Corey,
trying to sell
Corey,
his old ass for way less.
Corey Palmer gets brought up in a better light than Daniel does still.
Yeah,
So, yeah, like you're not missed, dude. See ya.
every once in a while I check on Charles Barker just to like see if he's done anything like absolutely bonkers. Because for a while, post DVD era, he was like doing these like wackadoo live streams. I don't know if you saw any of them. They were like so bonkers to me. Like that was like a game I would play because his profile is public. So every couple days I would like go to his profile and catch up on his live streams. It would be like him fighting with his wife, him living in the garage, him going on this like racist rant. Like
Yeah,
the was Australian, but like for a while he was literally doing these like live streams like idealizing like Trump and shit. It was so crazy to me.
yeah,
I'm like,
super anti-woman, and I remember like he would say things about me being like a bum and stuff in the same live streams that he is sorting through old nail polish to see what ones he can sell and shit. I'm like, dude, like you are the insult. Like, so weird story. Covert sent me a video of like a phone game gambling app that Charles Barker is in. Like he's in
oh my,
a commercial, like gambling and acting and shit. It's so strange. Fucking weird.
that's yeah, no, because he was like doing this thing because his wife, if I remember right, was Chinese, and they were buying like bulk of like weird random items, and then they would go to markets and sell it, and he would sell his mask at the markets too. But like one of his live streams was him just like screaming at his wife because she ordered the wrong like toy plane.
Yeah.
Like these ones are garbage. They're not gonna sell. Like you fucked us financially for the next 3 months. Like it was like this huge debacle, and it was just like on his personal Facebook, like live unfolding. Dude is like not it.
You don't understand. Yeah, that was a good time. That was a good era. I kind of missed the DVD shit. What a
Things were so simple.
they really were. Oh well.
I
Only
was cool. I remember because I made on my phone really quick with PixArt of all things. I made a Blockbuster cover, like the DVD debacle, like fucking like some silly bootleg shit.
the memes from that time period are unfucking replaceable.
That and like Facebook has changed so much. The way like groups used to be and like how they function and how they looked is so crazy to compared to how it is now.
Yeah, yeah.
And then like 2 months ago when Facebook did that weird update and it made like some of the first ever posts from the group recirculate, like
Yeah, from fucking yeah, it'd be like 2017 and shit.
yeah, when the House of Mass hangout was first made, like a post that I made when there was like 20 people in the group, like my first ever post in there got brought up to light, and someone was like, "What does your collection look like now?"
That's so weird.
Whoa, what is going on?
Fucking weird.
The internet has really shaped how we do things now, which
Oh
is crazy.
yeah, once everyone had to try to compete with TikTok, like the shift on Instagram, YouTube, like shorts, like
Oh yeah.
fuck, now I got to start making shorts to be relevant for anyone to see my shit. The same thing, real Instagram reels and stuff. It's like, who would have thought fucking 5 years ago this is where we would be?
I don't really understand how the Reels works. I wish when you posted a Reels, it went to a separate section and not on your main page too. I would prefer that honestly, but it is what it is. Because there's like those tabs on the top row for your page now, like the regular and then like Reels and then I think live feed and then tagged.
Mm-hmm.
I wish the Reels would stay to the Reels section, but
Yeah.
other than that, like the new like shorts feature on all these different social media apps is all different but all the same. It's like you said, like the shift for TikTok really pushed all these other social media sites to change how they run their stuff.
I can't tell if I dislike it because that's just how humans work and they don't like change, or if it really is just like one of those things where it's like, why the fuck do we need this? Why can't I literally just make YouTube videos and have those reach the people that want to see them? I just don't understand.
Yeah, it's like I think because of how TikTok is like the jumbled algorithm, but it has to learn you. Like when you first download the app and it's a clean slate, it's going to give you a lot of random things, but then they curate your For You page for you by what you interact with. So it's like, I'm really sorry to hear you're not doing good, Mike.
Yeah,
Uh, Mike's in the comments. He's just saying he's not doing good and loves us.
change your surroundings, Mike.
And but yeah, like I was mentioning, like how you do, like you got to do trends and shit with TikTok. Like whatever's trendy can catch you, however many views. There's people who are literally like rich beyond my wildest fantasies right now, solely from TikTok and nothing else. Like they were working like a normal like 9 to 5.
Yeah, it's fucking weird. I always wondered how that worked too, because I mean, like what? I don't know. Maybe it's just because I don't understand it. My following's not that big on there or whatever. But like, how the fuck are you making that much money from TikTok?
I don't know. I feel like you could shoot like a handful of like TikToks every day, like a 15-second one even of just like one mask,
Yeah.
and then just use the S word a couple times, like throw Slipknot in there, maybe even tag them.
Hmm.
Eventually, the algorithm would catch them.
Yeah, I'm
And
gonna have.
I is like for the first like some odd comments, if you reply to those, it pushes you further in the algorithm. Every engagement on a post pushes you further.
Yeah.
So there's definitely potential for you to blow your shit up for people who don't know who you are already. So
I'm gonna have to do a daily post. I keep like having that idea, and then a day will go by and I won't do it, and I'm like, all right, whatever. And then another day will go by and I won't do it. So it's honestly easy as shit to make a 15-second video. I just don't fucking do it. So
no, I get what you mean. I like put it off for a long time, and then the past 2 weeks I've been making like multiple a day,
mhm.
and they've been starting to take off, and I got 1,200 followers between my birthday and last week. And then this week, I went from 2,300 followers to like 3,000 some. I haven't checked TikTok since we started this live, but I'm sure I've gained some odd followers because a bunch of my posts were getting traction today again. So
Yeah, it's
it's
my
like,
weird. I'm like, oh, I'm not even gonna post this. Like, no one's gonna care about Buckethead, and then that's the one that goes to 40,000 views in 2 days. Okay, whatever.
No, the For You page is like a wizard, I swear to God, because it'll find like weird niche shit that I like that I don't think anyone else likes, and there'll be hella interaction on it. And I'm like, okay, like, this is cool.
We've been fucking streaming for 2 hours.
I know.
Why don't they time people out on a dual thing?
I don't know. I've been timed out before, but I don't know what factors into that because like when Vince and I go live, it's timed us out before, but I don't know if there's a time limit for this or not. I didn't get a warning, but usually it only comes up. It's like
2 minutes or whatever.
yeah, maybe even I can't remember. I've seen where it's like you have 20 seconds, and I'm like, oh, okay.
Yeah, yeah, that's weird. I did a live the other night and I did it longer than I thought I did, and it gave me the 2 minute time like countdown. I was like, huh,
Was that your walk one?
I think so.
Yeah, that one was cool. I like that.
Yeah, love some good old Chillicothe shit.
It makes like the way Chillicothe is. It reminds me a lot of my hometown, but Chillicothe is bigger. But your guys' main street, like when we were walking down that at night, like leaving the open house, just like super felt like Manawa to me. It was kind of cool.
Yeah, it's so atmospheric at nighttime.
But that's all our questions. I don't know if you have anything you wanted to plug here. I'm gonna upload this when we're done. I had like a handful of like foreign people who are messaging me like, I can't watch. It's 4 a.m. my time. Like,
Yeah.
yeah,
What do I have to add? Nothing that people don't know about. Obviously, PaleFest is the next big thing for all of us. So I would say don't be the person that says that they can't come because of weird excuses that you can change. Like you got what 3-4 months now to still figure it out.
mm-hmm.
And it's going to be the same thing as last year, except way worse, where everybody was like, so sad I couldn't make it, but like my birth.
The cost for this year is going to be insane. Anyone who doesn't show up, you're fucking up.
You're like literally that when that live I did the other night, someone said I can't come because my mom's birthday is the next day, and I'm just thinking like, really?
Yeah.
Okay, well you're gonna fucking regret that. But yeah, PaleFest is on. Another big shout out to Madam Paleface and Bishop, because they're doing the work for this thing. So that is what I want to leave on. I want everyone to go check out Paleface and Co.
Yeah, no, Bishop and Jasmine and you have all been like extremely supportive of us and what we wanted to do. Bishop has been super vocal about like every idea that I have that I've thrown at him, and he's been extremely supportive. He's like, I fucking love that idea. Yes. I love that idea. Yes. And then like when he approached me to do the commercial, which hopefully soon more people start doing theirs. I shot Anthony's commercial last week. I have to get to editing it, but I don't have Premiere on my computer.
Right.
But like I've been wanting to post my commercial for so long, and now I'm way better at editing than when I made that one too. So I'm like, oh fuck, I could like
Just do it again. It's not like there's a limit. Like the more you do, that's the more stuff that we can post on those social medias. So
yeah, I think I might like make some shorts too, so I can like bump those like and like the full minute commercial. Like there's like a bunch of shit I want to do, and I keep getting like more footage. Like I find more stage used footage.
yeah, hell yeah.
Like one uploaded like some high quality like full concert footage a while back. So I'm like, okay, well now I have more shit to rip.
Yeah,
Like,
good. I'm excited to see what everybody does. So.
yeah, for sure. But yeah, everyone in here, come to PaleFest or else. Like,
Yeah, PaleFest has an Instagram too.
it might be a completely different atmosphere. Like we were talking earlier, there could be the risk cost of like some random cool person showing up unannounced. Like you could meet Sid or Jay like on
Dude,
accident. Like that what's his name? AJ, the other AJ Williams. Dude met Jay at like a Bass Pro Shops or whatever a while back. Like that shit was fucking crazy to me.
people run into Jay at fucking where's he go all the time? Disney World or something? Like literally always goes to Disney World. Fucking Tony James Hicks met him on vacation while they were just like walking around the theme park. So
Yeah.
it'd be sick. Who knows? But PaleFest has an Instagram, which is not super active right now, but will be as we get closer. So
Totally.
2022, go check that out.
I don't know if it'll let me put a caption for this when I upload it, but I'll tag everything and we'll
Cool.
see where it goes.
Well,
But yeah, super big thank you for this. This is probably like the coolest social media thing I've ever done. Like I saw a bunch of like likes and follows dropping on my shit because your name was involved, so that's cool. And then like
yeah.
we get to upload this, and then I like your suggestion of keeping this going and bringing on other people. I think that's a really good thing.
Yeah, absolutely. And connections are the most important thing. So
Absolutely.
yeah, that's all. One interaction with somebody to have like a new good friend and potential business partner and shit. So
Absolutely. Thank you everyone for watching, and of course, thank you, AJ.
my pleasure.
Fest closing message: be there or don't even interact.
The bottom line is you are going to regret not coming.
I could just imagine the cool shit. I like dream of like scenarios. I've been dreaming of scenarios for months now, so
Yeah,
it's gonna be the shit. Like,
it'll be better than you even expect. So
hell yeah. If you come to Pale Fest, buy a mask, get a Fago. All right, dude. I'll let you go. Thanks so much for this. You have a good one.
appreciate you. We'll see you.
Bye.